it's another lifestyle edition of the Buzz on Galaxy Television, and we are here. And I hope today's conversation or discussion will actually impact on someone out there who needs the information. Okay, so one of the hardest things to do for a woman, especially, is for you to admit to yourself that you are in an abusive marriage. All right, as glaring as this might be to other people who are looking from the outside in, but you, the individual who is in the marriage, accepting, and coming to terms with it can be one of the hardest things to do. So today on the program, we'll be looking at proactive steps you can take when you find yourself in an abusive marriage. Welcome to the show. My name is Patience, and it's always a pleasure to be here. Having said that, I'm being joined by my counselors this afternoon, and together we'll bring in perspective to what we're discussing at the table. It's a pleasure to welcome back Mrs. Uche Ideho. She's always looking good. She's joining us as an entrepreneur. She's also an author. She wrote a book, The Right Way to Court, and she's joining us also as a relationship counselor this afternoon. Good afternoon, Mrs. Ideho.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Everywhere is cold. Oh, yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll make that happen. Welcome to the table, ma'am.
Thank you.
Also joining us in the studios this afternoon, the class prefect herself of Thursday's edition, Pastor Dolly. Why am I doing Jolly? Hey, Pastor Jolly. Pastor Jolly is here on the show this afternoon. Of course, we all know that she's a minister of God, obviously. She has also authored 2 books now, Beneath the Glamour, and the second one, the name always does Generational Blessings. All right. And she's a marriage and relationship counselor as well. Good afternoon to you, Pastor Dolly. Makes me feel good every time I see you.
Thank you.
It gives me a sort of confidence. Welcome. Looking beautiful as always.
Thank you.
All right. So the man in our midst, Mr. Raphael Malik, I think he's okay. Speak of the angel. He just walked right into the studio as I mentioned his name. Of course, it's raining out there, so I'm sure there's a bit of traffic which held him back for a bit. But he'll be joining up in the show a bit. But then let me welcome you, the viewer. Don't forget, interfacing with us on the program via SMS is always a good thing. We want to read from you. We want to see you responding to us. So as we discuss, what are your thoughts? What contributions would you like to make on the show? All right, you can send that via SMS to the number that will be on the screen shortly. All right, so I was saying at the start of the program that one of the hardest things to do as a woman, as a person, is for you to admit to yourself that you are in an abusive relationship or an abusive marriage. All right, psychologically it is very, very difficult, and that's why instead, for the longest of time, for you to accept that that is the true picture of things, you begin to make excuses, and you start asking yourself questions as to what am I doing wrong that is bringing up this kind of reaction. What can I do better? How can I be a better person, as against you confronting what the issues are. So we're going to be talking abuse, especially where it's got to do with spousal abuse, domestic violence, and stuff like that. So our topic this afternoon is proactive steps to take in an abusive marriage. All right, so we'll kickstart the conversation by first of all taking a very quick minute to go listen to Pastor Mrs. Funke Felix Adejumo. She has something to say about you who is watching us out there, especially as a Christian, and you find yourself in an abusive marriage. What are you supposed to do? We take that clip very quickly, and then we'll come back to the studio. Stay with us. All right. Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching the lifestyle edition of The Buzz. While the video was playing, my third guest took a seat at the table. I welcome warmly to the show Mr. Raphael Malik, who is joining us as an IT expert. He also sits at this table as a counselor. Good afternoon, Mr. Malik.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so you listened to that clip by Funke Felix Adejumo talking about, what to do if you find yourself in an abusive space. Okay, so I'd like to start with you, Mrs. Deho. Let's talk about this issue of abuse in a marriage, in a relationship, and steps you can take, while you find yourself in that situation. But first, let's start with what can be considered an abusive marriage in the first place. Let's start from that.
Abuse is abuse. When somebody makes you feel less, when somebody uses words that are not pleasant, that's what we regard as an abuse. So when you are in an abuse relation, it means that one person in that relationship is making the other person feel less and making the other person not worth it, and probably using words, probably from words it leads to violence and all that. But the question where I want to see this is that people that are in this relationship, not everybody sees that abuse part. Because some people are already used to abuse as everyday thing. Like there are some people
as a way of life.
As a way of life, So when a man, you are dating a man and you just want to share an opinion, that's a bit shut up. For that person it is a norm. There are some people that they even go as far as using words like you are stupid, you are mad, you are not that and not that. So for some people it is a norm. Then some people have lived in life where for every provocation there is a fight. But that fight does not mean it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything is wrong.
It doesn't mean that something is wrong. So when they come into a relationship like that, this is the way they are wired. They know that if I'm angry, I can shout. So that's why you see that when you tell them that that's why they make an excuse for the other part, that maybe because I provoked him. Because they're already used to a situation whereby when somebody is angry, the next thing is to shout and even break bottles. They are used to it. That's the way they are wired. They live that for like 20 years before they got married. So when they come into such a marriage, when they come into that relationship, it is nothing for them. But it is you that sees it from outside that feel that, okay, you're an abusive relationship. So when you pick somebody like that and tell the person that, why are you allowing this man to treat you like this? That's why you hear people say that, well, it's normal now. It's because he's angry. So if he's angry, but you might not see it from that light. But this is somebody that all his life he has seen, he lives in an environment.
Let me quickly ask you a follow-up question. So if the person see the wrong in how they are being treated because perhaps that's how their orientation, and all of that. Does that then make the situation right?
No,
okay. I just needed to clarify that.
But the thing is, we have spoken on this issue again and again. But you still see people not seeing anything wrong with this one, and not even identifying the symptoms, the red flag as abusive. What you tend to be abusive for them. For
it's
them,
just normal
it's
way
just
of
the
life.
normal thing. They feel that I can stand it. It makes it even interesting. If you blow, I will blow back. So they don't see any reason why you should call such a relationship or such marriage abusive. So when you have such people like that, even as much as education is going on every day on an abusive marriage, you should come out of it. You should steps to follow. This set of people still feel that we don't understand.
Okay.
You understand? So that is the first thing we see in terms of abusive marriage, that they are already set of people, that there's nothing you can really do to convince them that this relationship is not healthy.
It's not healthy for them. All right, thank you for coming from that perspective. Permit me, Mr. Malik, to go to Dr. Dolly. I'll come to you. All right, Pastor Dolly, this issue of abusive marriages, let's talk about it. All right, and what a human being, an individual or a victim, finds themselves in that situation, should actually be thinking about.
just like Uche said, some people don't even see it as abusive relationship. We that are looking from outside, sometimes we are the one that feel that this is not normal. This is abusive relationship. This relationship is abusive, and it's not always from one side. It can be from this side, it can be from the other side, because we also sometimes want to look at abusive relationship as a relationship maybe where the man goes as far as hitting the woman or the woman hitting the man. Then we say it's abusive, but it goes beyond that. Sometimes it can be mental frustration. You know, when you are frustrating the other person in the mental sense, you know, you are doing things that
emotional
abuse. Yeah, you are doing things that make life really miserable for the other person. The other person can't even sleep in the night. He wakes at the middle of the night and is crying. He doesn't even know who to go to. He doesn't know who to confide in, because on the outside, this man or this woman looks so good, so kind. So you know, there are people that are good outside, they are not good at all. So if it is the good outside and not good at all, who is she going to tell that this man is not good at all, or this woman is not good at all, when on the outside this person is very, very, very kind to other people, except the person that is in a close relationship with? You know, some men are coming home, the children are taking cover on that chair, on that table, because they know that one lion is coming to the house right now. You see, for me, that is an abusive relationship. That, you know, those children are going to abuse, because children like that, in most cases, they become a reserved, they become they have low self-esteem, they are timid, because they are never told they want anything. You know, a home where can be the mother that abuses the daughter, uses curse words, uses demeaning words on his or her daughter or her son. You are using demeaning words. You can never amount to something. Look at your mate, you are nothing. For me, that is abuse. You are abusing that child of yours, because you are sowing a seed in that child. And when that child goes from such a home, you know, a home where father and mother fight every time, a woman or a young man that is raised from there goes to marry. So what is he going to call abuse? So as far as she's concerned, it's the normal way of life. It's the way to live. But it's not the way to live, because your partner, who didn't come from that background, is the one that will be feeling the pain.
Exactly.
He's the one that will be in the problem, because he or she came from a background where there is love. Their parents see their children and they praise them in the sense of, they look at them, oh, you are the most beautiful girl in the world, you are the most beautiful child in the world. Oh, they wear something, their parents come saying, oh, you look so good. And you are now with a man or a woman who came from an abusive background, you know, and everything he or she is doing to you, to him or her, is normal. But to you, it's not normal, because that is actually not the right way to live. Every human being deserves respect, they deserve honor, they deserve the right treatment, they deserve to be treated right. And if they are not getting that right treatment, even when they complain, for you that is used to such abusive life, when your partner complains, you are like, what is he complaining? I give her money, I give him everything that he wants, I cook for him, I wash his clothes, I iron his clothes, and he's still complaining. He's complaining because that abusive life. And like a few days ago here, I was resolving an issue between a couple, and the woman with her mouth told me, my husband said this, and I started raining curses on him. You understand? Why would you rain curses on your husband? Like as I told her, you are sowing a seed. Tomorrow you say your husband don't have money to bring home. Your husband, how can he have enough to bring home when he is going out and you have told him he will not amount to anything? How do you expect him to go and amount to anything out there? You see, for me, that is an abuse. You are abusing him. You are making him feel it's not worth being a man, which is not the right way. And that, you know, things like that are things that...
Thank you so much, Pastor Dolly. Now, let me bring a male perspective into the picture. But I want to take it from what Mrs. Sideho started with. She has highlighted the fact that usually people who are abusive to other people, you know, were also abused themselves. So it's like a build-up. All right. So I want to take it from that standpoint of someone who grew up in an abusive, environment has now become an abuser himself or herself. All right. How do you recognize it yourself that I'm an abuser? That I am always the aggressor. How do you, as an individual, come to that realization?
Wow. That's really a dimension or something you might not be able to achieve yourself. You know, you have almost defined salvation because you can't just save yourself. It's a position you find yourself like it's normal. So first, you won't even see that it is not right for you to want to come out of that position. So it has to be a grace that has to be passed to you, either by you understand, either by a counselor, by a spiritual person. You will really need help for your eyes to be opened that life can be different from what you have experienced it to. So that, I think, might be a way out for such a person. But I really want to agree with everybody on the table. But if we have to answer to the question or to what that pastor actually said, I would disagree with her almost 100%.
Okay.
Now, when you say abusive relationship, that has been defined on this table. But while you are in an abusive relationship, you can find solitude time to look for solution, to pray or to listen to a counselor, or to visit your leaders to intervene. You only flee a relationship where there's life-threatening. That is the clear demarcation there. Because when you leave an abusive relationship, you are only pushing that relationship to an end.
Can I come in here?
Please.
Okay.
Can I quickly answer?
Please,
I just
go ahead.
Say this. When you say that when life is threatening, who determines when it gets to when life is threatening? For instance, something that is emotional, you can't readily see it. You can't readily see the damage. The damage
is doing to the individual.
At that
exactly.
Point. It must be, because before we can identify that, okay, this relationship is abusive, in most cases, there must be physical abuse or whatever. Before, if it is mental abuse, we know a lot of people have become insane because of mental abuse, emotional abuse. So if we are saying suicidal, that, okay, what she's saying is not right. Okay, there must be threat to life.
What do you even mean by life is threatening? Do you have to wait till the man puts a gun into your head for you to know? For instance, okay, a man who has gone into the habit for everything you say, a slap or whatever, is that not enough for you to flee that relationship? I'm asking.
So when you say hitting your partner, that has actually, for me, gone beyond abuse. That is a life-threatening situation. Okay,
so that's enough reason to flee. Okay,
because one slap could
kill somebody.
Could kill anybody. Yeah. You understand? So, unless, see, why I am emphasizing on this, because...
But then what kind of abuse
no, hold on.
Are you now talking about where you can begin to pray? What kind of abuse are you talking about?
The emphasis here for me is fleeing a relationship that is redeemable might not be the right way to resolve that issue. You understand?
I don't think you understood
to safety.
So safety.
Then from there you can start praying.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
She's not saying dissolve the marriage.
Okay, you know what? At this point, I'm calling for that video to be played again.
Okay, let's listen again.
Let us play this video again. Let us all listen. I want us to get the real import of what Pastor Adejumo was saying. Let's listen to the video again. That part. Are you clear now?
See, I am very clear, and I'm still clear about my position.
Okay.
See, when it's abuse, like she also mentioned, what do you define as abuse, and what do you define as life-threatening? If a slap, for my own definition, is life-threatening, then escape for your life. But when it's abuse, it could be emotional, it could be unseen. You know, life is not yet threatening.
That is more deadly. Emotional is more deadly. Deadlier than.
Okay, so
let him land.
Let us keep the focus.
Go ahead, Mr.
You see,
Mali.
it's not that it's not deadly. Okay, that is not like life-threatening, that is very quick or obvious.
Okay.
For you to flee an environment that is life-threatening is very important for safety. But when you are still there, you are emotional abuse or other sort of abuse, that you can still find solace in a place or time to visit a counselor or someone to intervene. There's no need to flee. That's my focus here.
Okay. Okay.
You understand?
You are saying
because when you are there, there's still possibility.
Seek for help.
Yes, seek for help.
Like if you think the relationship is still redeemable.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
I want to put a picture of what you are saying. There's this cleaner in my office then. She and her husband, they always fight. We try to counsel them and all that. Before we know, they'll born one. They'll go back again. They'll start fighting. Before you know again, they'll born two. As we speak now, like they have 4 children, and they are doing very well. But
Very
at the
good.
beginning of that marriage, we keep coming, talking.
It was turbulent.
It was
Okay.
they will fight to the extent that the woman will say, "Yeah, come." You know, like I said, there are some people that feel that it is their love language. Do you understand? So what he's trying to say is that it's not all the time you just flee. It could still be redeemed by maybe waiting for both of us to really get mature.
Please let me add to that while you're talking. Sorry to cut you. The fact that you guys are actually there, doing the little advice and counseling you are doing, most likely were the things that flavored them still being together. So that's my major focus. If the relationship is not yet life-threatening, you can still stay, get advice, get counsel.
Physical.
Yes.
A little physical.
Yes. Now, for example, if she has flee, today they don't have those children.
I think that's the
You understand? So that's very vital in managing any relationship.
I've seen that point being played out. They will fight. Like the woman will say, "Yeah, come. If you blow me, I will blow you." But before you know it, you'll have what I will.
Oh.
Before you
But
know
there
what you did.
are instances where people have also, tried to manage the situation and they have stayed, praying and getting all the interventions, and today they are not alive to tell
That
the
is the
story.
one that is saying that you should go. But you both of you inside, you know that this is redeemable. Because why is redeemable? Because when, for example, now the woman come report the husband. That
every woman in an abusive relationship feels the relationship is redeemable.
Patient, there are some that the woman will even take a step. The man will not respond. In that one, you know that this one is not ready to change.
Okay,
but there is the one that the woman will
It's a communication.
report you to a higher person that you put.
Yes.
All right. You know what? I'm getting confused now. So I want to ask a question, and I just want a direct answer. Are we trying to say that there is a level of abuse that is acceptable?
No.
Is that what we're saying?
No.
So
the emphasis here is leaving, fleeing that relationship. You see, when you leave, like the example she gave.
What do you even understand by leaving a relationship?
She said to flee.
Yeah, you go away from the place where you are being abused. It doesn't mean the marriage is automatically over.
Okay.
Or the relationship is over.
Fine.
I can still move away while I'm still getting help or solution.
Okay. Well, so let's keep it this way. There's no facts, 2 + 2 answers for every relationship. Yeah. So for you, when you are designing and you're able to access counsel, maybe what might work for you is to move somewhere else for that relationship to redeem. But for some, like the one she gave, moving out might not necessarily work. So if you find that your partner is of this kind of a personality, and you feel that if you leave for some time, he or she will understand, return to that first love, and probably listening for the relationship to be salvaged. You understand? So whatsoever will work for you. You see, that is one area that I felt so much about in life, that we don't have a training school or to be a parent or to even manage your home. You understand? So at every point in time, counsel, advice is always important. So if at such moment you have access to that. Access to that, because even you yourself might not be opening yourself for you to be advised or counseled. You are keeping it to yourself. It's not the best way, actually. So if you are able to have access to advice, counsel, then you will find the best solution for your relationship.
Okay, Pastor.
Me, I would say that, like both of you said, okay, it's hitting, like even the one Uche was talking about. She even says, "Oh yeah, come, let's fight." Me, I'm looking at a woman that is very strong to be telling a man, "Come, let's fight." Some other women, you can just hit once, and they are in the grave already. They are dead. So why would such a woman stay to say, "Come, let's fight"? And they do come, let's fight. They survive. Tomorrow they do come, let's fight. That is just 1 in a million that survives such a thing. So there is no way we cannot recommend such for anybody, because you may not have, the other person may not have the strength to take that, to even take one slap, especially with the way things are today. People, you see people walking in the street, their mind is not there in the street. A lot is going on with people, and now you are in a hole where you will have to still go through that physical, getting physical with each other. I don't think it's advisable. I still want to stick with Funke that, look, if this relationship is abusive, the capability of taking, or the possibility of taking life is there, because it can just be one slap. This person has been shouting, he has been very aggressive, and he's telling you, the day I will give you slap, don't wait to be given that slap. I'm not saying run away in such case. Why don't involve somebody before it gets to that? Somebody that person will listen to. It can be your pastor, it can be your whatever, your family members that you know this man or this woman respect. Because sometimes we want to always look at men slapping women. A lot of women slap their husband first. Some women, they are the first to raise their hands at their husband because of the background they are coming from. They see their father, they see their mother fighting their father. They see their father fighting their mother. So for them, slap is normal. And because they grew up like that, they have the stamina, they have the strength to take it. The partner may not have that strength because the partner was not raised to receive those slaps. You know, all these bosses, they are humans now. Because they are trained over time to do bossing and all that. So somebody can be bossing them, you that is watching. You are like, oh, he's going to kill him. He stand up and he's fighting back because of their training. But the person that doesn't have that training, the bosser will give him one blow and the person will die now. So don't wait to die. Seek solution. And one of the solutions is you can hit and run, fight and run away. They say lives to fight another day. So what we are saying is that step aside, not divorce, not separate, not break your marriage. You can visit your family home. You can visit a friend that you know is this man will respect and will understand that you are with a friend. Then call in superior people with good counsel to help them. He said we don't have school for wives or whatever. There is a school for wives here in Lagos. I think it's in the Daogba area. Yes, there is a school for wives. There is a woman that is running school for wives. So I'm not making advice.
Okay, thank you, Pastor John. All right, but then I just need to say very quickly that nobody has to feel unsafe if you are in a relationship, whether it's violent or it's not violent, but then you feel unsafe, you know, right there, please get out. Yeah. That is the wisest thing to do, because you really, death will not write letter.
Definitely.
So you are tell you, okay, tomorrow by 12 o'clock, when they give you one slap, that's when you are dying, for you to know what to do. So it could start off, you know, like play, like they say, and then before you know it, one person is dead and gone, and then there is nothing anybody can do about it. So I do not agree that there is a level of violence that you should be comfortable with. Although it happens even to the best of us. You know, you are abused, and somehow because of sentimental attachment, maybe to the children or to whatever, or maybe even to the institution of marriage itself. You know, some people will stay on and will take it and all of that, but then you should know when, you know, enough is enough, especially when you feel like, I might die, all right? Run, like Pastor Adejumo has said, run to safety first, and then you can start looking at ways, you know, we can people can mediate if it can be salvaged. if it cannot be salvaged, look, there are so many beautiful things you can still do with your life, even as an unmarried or a separated or a divorced person. That is really nothing. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't define you as a human being. But then, having said that, a lot of people even haven't identified the fact that they are in an abusive marriage. Then comes the big wahala of, what do I do next? How do I start afresh? Where do I go? You know, especially if you are the one that was totally dependent on the other person, then it makes it a whole lot tougher. So what advice would you have for someone who has come to the point of, okay, I want to leave, or I'm leaving this abusive relationship? What next?
I discussed this issue with somebody. You know, I told the person that let's not be quick to just, why didn't you leave? There are a lot of people out there that they can't leave for obvious reasons. You know, some people, depending on how that marriage was contracted, let me use the word. If it is some, I've seen a lot of people that this man took you from nothing. In short, there are some people, they don't actually have family. Even if they do, they can't locate them. More or less, this man is their world.
Everything.
You know, and it is there are some issues that is so bad that you even say don't walk. So your really life is within that four walls. Even though you go to church and you see people and all that, but literally your life, it is that man, that world. You know. So, but if life it's really involved, your life is risky. I think you just need to be bold. For me, for those people, the first thing is to look for somebody to confide in. That's the first step. You need to speak out, confide, and you don't just confide in somebody. Look for the right person to confide in, because you could confide to somebody and that person is not the right person, and that makes your life miserable the more. The man could hear and said, okay, this is what you are up to. Henceforth, you don't leave this house. As we speak, there are no people in that situation now. That they make it. You don't leave this house. Why? Probably because he made a move somehow and he got the wrong one. So there would be, look for the right person to confide in. It could be, if you go to church, it could be your pastor, the superior one, and let the person know that I don't have anywhere to go to. I don't know where to start from. There's always help when you cry out for help. I think that's the first step for people, because there are actually people that's the truth. It's easy for us to say leave, because you that is saying leave, you know you have 1 million places where you can go to, but there are a lot of people, they don't even have family.
That's so true. That's so true, Mrs. Ideho. All right, Mr. Malik, what advice would you give to
Okay, so in agreement to what you said, I think the step before the first step is living in a community. Because, for example, if you are a full housewife, like you said, and the only place you go to is that your fellowship place, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, find solace in making friends. Especially these days that technology is making it easy for us to connect and communicate. Find solace in making friends. Because I can give you a scenario of a woman that her friend actually turned her life around. Okay, because when you relate to people around you, there's that moral support, that mutual, energy that comes into all of us. Oh, this is happening in my home. Small talk. You mention something. You understand? Yeah. So give more perspective, new advice, new idea. To make how you can move forward. Exactly. You understand? So in case you now find yourself at that state of life and you need to move forward, you know what to do, definitely you must have a friend, someone you can confide in. See, it could be anybody. It could be the leader in your community or your fellowship or your church or wherever you gather. It could be just one person in that place. For example, I'll quickly give you this scenario. A lady was being in an abusive relationship. Talking about not living. This lady was almost like you said, she has no other family in that state where she is. So she has 2 children, and this man will even bring concubine to that house and lock the woman in a room with the children that they should not come out. Suddenly, one day, the man slept and didn't wake up. Wow. You understand? Now, it took the grace of that friend to salvage this woman because she didn't know what to do. She was allowed to call the family to tell them what had happened. Fortunately, she called that friend first, and the friend told her, called no one. Immediately, the friend came in, ransacked the whole house, took all the documents, all the necessary things that could be their own inheritance, took it away.
Because
then
that
now
woman
called,
wasn't thinking right.
now called
time.
the family. When they came, they did all the search, all they could do. They couldn't find anything. They finished the process and all the burial, they left. She was able to take those things to build a family all over. That is a friend. You understand? So find people you can confide with, because whether there are issues or not in your relationship, even if your relationship is blooming, the fact that you are communicating with others, might be helping others, and the day you need someone to intervene,
someone can come through for you.
there's always that place.
Thank you, Mr. Malik. All right, you always need like some sort of moral support.
Yeah.
And like you said, Mrs. Ideho, not everybody has a family that can give that moral support.
Yeah,
some of us are fortunate. You have a family who will stand with you,
you.
stand by you, stand for you, and do everything.
Yeah.
But some people are not that fortunate. So, but then you need someone. Pastor Dolly.
Even some people that have families too. There are people that, like Ted, that are from even abusive families
themselves. Yeah.
So when they are thinking of where to go,
The family will not be the first place.
You understand that thought of I'm running from fire.
frying
I want to go
pan
and
to
enter
fire.
I'm from frying pan. I want to go and enter fire. So that thought alone is going to make them to say, "Let me kukuma stay here instead of living here." You know, and also some people too, when they look at that family background that they have, some families today, for instance, the woman. Some families will tell their daughters, as long as you're married, you're no more a part of this family. You now belong to that family. You don't have a room anymore in this house. You can't return back to this house. So the thought of going back to that house is not even an option, because they've been told from day one, you don't have a room in this house. No matter what she tells her parents, that this is what my husband is doing to me, they will tell you a wife is a slave, submit to your husband. In some traditions, in some places, that's what they believe. A woman is a slave. So if your slave master is asking for anything, you have to submit to your slave master as a woman. So such a woman, she doesn't have a place to go to. Like Mr. Malik said, it is always the best to have friends. There are friends that are more than a family.
Yeah.
There are friends that
Closer.
can stick their neck for you.
Yeah.
It might just be one.
It might just be that
one
one
person.
friend. And when God blesses you with such friend, know that that friend is for the rainy day. Don't joke with such friend. Don't mess up that relationship.
Very important.
And sometimes you need to be patient to be able to keep that relationship, because there is no human being that is perfect on earth. That friend will have one way or the other where he or she is not measuring up to standard for you. But then you need to also tolerate that friend, so that in that rainy day, you know that there are friends that I remember when I was going through my own friend. I have a friend that left the house and carry her driver to go and meet my husband then in the office and say, today I'm here to come and fight that woman, that whatever. You understand? That was a friend. So there are friends that can stick, that can say, you don't know how to fight the fight. I know how to
I'll
fight.
fight for you.
I'll fight for you. And they will stand for you. They will keep you in their house. They will do all they can to make sure the whole issue is resolved.
Yeah.
You know, so such friend. There are friends too that will just tell you, just scatter the marriage. You don't need such friends.
Exactly.
You only need the ones that want things to work for you, who will have an idea of how you can solve the problem without going violent and all that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And well, having said that too, we also must recognize the fact that it's not everyone that knows how to make or keep friends. All right, there are some of us, you know, as bubbly, as boisterous and happy as we look, making friends is not just our strong point. For people like that, if you find yourself in that situation where you feel isolated, all right, it's just you, there's no family member, there's no friend that you can trust to that extent, then approach the government. That's why the government is there. Any state you are in Nigeria, there is always a Ministry of Women Affairs, all right? Look for it. Go there if you're a woman, even as a man. approach the Ministry of Justice. Not only will they help because they have mediation services they render for things like this and all of that, you perhaps can also get justice if you feel like you need it in such cases. I'm just saying, all right, not everybody has a family or has a friend
And I know that
in that
Lagos
capacity.
State
So
in
approach,
particular.
yes, Lagos in
State
particular.
is very
Yes,
good in taking
exactly.
families.
Go there and table your matter, then they take it up from there. In fact, I do know that in Lagos State, there are shelters for women who might be displaced as a reason of leaving their marriages, all right? For those women who have been utterly dependent on their spouses up until things went all right and you don't have a place to go, I know they offer shelters, all right, where you can feel safe, you and even your children, for short periods of time until they resolve issues for you. So approach the government is also a way to go.